not going to do it again. Fine, I'll do it.
Transformers.
What is up, Netflix fans? Welcome back to my channel. Part 2 of the Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy is now on Netflix, or at least it will be in a few hours. I want to say thank you to Netflix for providing me this screener, and I cannot wait to talk about this. If you guys missed my review for Siege that is on the channel right now, I thoroughly enjoyed it for what it was, right? It's very different from what we're used to, but the fact that we are getting Transformers with this style of animation on Netflix is great, and what a way to bring in the new year starting tomorrow. So in this first episode, believing the Allspark destroyed,
Megatron
plans to flee the dying planet, but at great cost. Elita 1's plan to free some of the prisoners hits a snag. And we talked about that crazy ending of Siege and what some possibilities were that we were going to get for this season. Who could show up? We do get a few great characters. Their presence is felt in the first few episodes, and then when they finally make an appearance, it is oh so interesting. But we're also getting new elements to the story. I'm going to make a comparison, and you're going to think I'm crazy at first, but hear me out. Earthrise is to Siege what The Empire Strikes Back was to A New Hope. Now, there are subtle differences in there, absolutely. I will say that Earthrise is maybe not as action-packed as some will hope it will be, but it is darker, it is grittier, and it is much more what I think a lot of people were expecting with the first season. Because the first season, at times, it felt like this all-out brawl. We're on this adventure with specifically Bumblebee, and then we branch out and learn more about the Transformers. This time around, we have 3 distinct storylines, and like Empire Strikes Back, all of our heroes are kind of separated through the galaxy, and we are on 3 distinct different adventures. We have Elita 1 and her Autobots on Cybertron. She's kind of taking that role of a leader this time around. Lots of cues from Optimus Prime. Her presence very much feels like Optimus Prime's presence in the first season. Then we have Megatron, who is confronting this reality of the fact that his Decepticons are trapped on Cybertron, as well as fighting off Elita and her Autobot forces. And then we have Optimus and his team, who's on a desperate mission that is going to push them to their breaking point, going to different parts of new worlds, traveling uncharted territories, and facing mercenaries. It's where this story goes and who appears along the way. But it really all comes down to the pacing with this season, because it's going to slow down at times to a point to where I believe some will get impatient. And that's completely understandable, especially after the nonstop action of the first season. But I like the fact that this is kind of slowing down and allowing us to really build these characters. And if I saw a huge negative for the first season, it's that certain characters didn't feel all the way fleshed out, and we needed a bit more. Well, this season, this is our opportunity to get a lot more and to feel what they are feeling, some of them lost and alone, others under immense pressure. A character like Elita 1, who is taking over this role of Optimus Prime and leading her forces. She was great. Now, Bumblebee, in my opinion, was the standout in Season 1, and we really start on this journey with him. I think this time around, Bumblebee's presence is still felt, but Optimus, we are really focusing on Optimus, and we needed to see more growth from him in the first season, and I think that's something that we get. I've really come around on his character. Not that I didn't like him the first time, but he's continuing to grow on me. I'm getting more used to the voice. A lot of his story takes place on the Ark, but again, they're going about trying their best to seek out and find the Allspark, because of course it was gone after the first season. Megatron is a very interesting character, and we've always known this. If you're a fan of Transformers, you understand the root of his motivation, but it's almost, and I love a good villain like this, it's almost like he needs Optimus, right? With Optimus gone, what would he be? With the Batman gone, who would the Joker be? And you see that there are a few conversations. Now, not a spoiler, clearly there are going to be confrontations, but there's one in particular that is detrimental to one of them on an emotional level, but it is really yin and yang, as bad as it gets, as far as they are willing to go. They need each other, especially Megatron needing Optimus Prime, but both ways. And I just love that exploration. I love the fact I look at the main poster and you see Megatron taking on Optimus, and that's what the root of Earthrise is. There is a common goal that almost everyone has. Of course, you have the forces back on Cybertron, but there's a common mission that everyone is on, and they are willing to do essentially whatever it takes to get there. And that's one of the most fun things about the Transformers, in my opinion, and that's what is showcased here. Now, if you got used to the animation the first time around, nothing really changes here. There are, of course, little nitpicks that you could have here and there, but it stays consistent, and it stays extremely entertaining, from the sound effects to the music. Oh my gosh, the music at times. It's even better this time around. And even though the battles are far more few and far in between, the battles that we do get, oh my goodness, there's one imposing figure. I won't say who it is, but it takes a lot for a team to go up against this character, and it was just epic beyond all belief. So you may not get as much action as you want, but when you get the action, it is so much fun. Jetfire and Elita 1 have a great relationship. Red Alert was a fascinating character, and Chromia. Chromia is one that is slowly becoming a favorite of mine. Honestly, I could watch multiple episodes of just the Cybertron adventures, just what is happening here without Optimus. Now, we go back to those stories, and they're interesting, and that's where the grittiness and the darkness comes in. Obviously, you're getting that from both angles, so it's not feeling tonally inconsistent, but pieces of Optimus' story this time around, man, I mean, it's the darkest we've seen it so far. Scaled back in a way, but allows our characters time to breathe, and that builds them up thoroughly, and the execution here was really good. But back to Cybertron, man, I just had so much fun with that storyline, and every little adventure that we would find them in throughout the episodes just executed to a T. And the first 4 episodes are entertaining, for sure. Like, pacing did slowly become a problem, but once you get to episode 5 and fans of Transformers see some things that happen in this episode, you're going to have some people fist-pumping and freaking out. As long as you can get past some of the pacing issues, I think a lot of people are going to thoroughly enjoy Earthrise. And accepting this for what it is, a very different kind of storytelling compared to the first season, but entertaining, and I think it's storytelling that works, especially in this universe. I enjoyed Earthrise. I really did. I had a good time with this batch of episodes, and I cannot wait to see how that ending is resolved in the next one. If you were asking for more nitpicks, maybe there were a few things that happened off-screen that we didn't get to see, aka building up characters. When they come on screen, you feel like you needed a bit more with those changes, but at the end of the day, Earthrise throws us a curveball when it comes to how dark and gritty they're willing to go, but many fans will appreciate how this season plays out, and I'm going a solid 75% for Earthrise. Again, I'm just really enjoying what this is bringing. It's throwing me back to what we used to get with the Transformers. Now, again, I haven't seen a lot of these newer incarnations. This Netflix series is essentially the first series I've sat down and watched in a long time, so I need you guys down below. First of all, if you enjoyed this review and you want to drop a thumbs up button, that will tell me that you want a review for the next season. And if you'd like a video talking about this ending, and I know it's going to be a huge topic of discussion, let me know that down below. Appreciate you guys big time for watching. Stay tuned, more reviews, and I'll see you later.